There's one thing that a lot of membership owners do that absolutely drives me nuts, and it's hurting their membership. But the thing is the owners, they don't realize that this is a problem. In fact, many of them that are doing this think that it's actually the smart move to do and that it's helping their retention rate. But I promise you, it's not only hurting your retention rate in the long run, but it's really tarnishing your brand experience and your brand reputation. So what is it? I'm going to be talking to you about that in this episode. So when I meet with clients, one of the first things that we work on is refining their cancellation process. I think of it like bookends, right? The beginning of the membership experience is the onboarding experience, and then the end is the cancellation process. So much to my surprise, when I was onboarding a new client and we were talking about their cancellation process for me to review, they were actually having a really hard time finding the cancellation button on their membership site. In fact, they couldn't even find it on the call, and they had to get back to me and tell me where it was. There are a lot of people like this, and you may be one of them. And if so, this episode is for you, because I'm going to be talking about why I do not want you to hide your cancellation button in your membership. Now, if you're like some membership site owners, you may think that hiding your cancellation button is actually going to improve your retention. But I would beg to differ. I mean, it may hold people over for a month, but it's having much more of a negative impact on your membership than you may realize. So before we dive into the 3 reasons I don't want you hiding that cancellation button and how I want you thinking about your membership cancellation process, I want you to realize that even if you are a course owner and you're dealing with refunds, that this process and this thought will apply to you as well. So I want you to keep listening. But there is a new law that has now gone into effect in California that's important for all membership site owners to know. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so you want to talk to yours or you want to look this up on your own. But essentially what the law is saying is that if you have an online membership, people need to be able to cancel that membership just by providing their email address. It has to be easy. You can't require any more information to need to be submitted for cancellation. So now is a good time for you to be revisiting your cancellation process. But when you do, I want you to be thinking about a lot more than just making sure that you're abiding by this new California law. I want to give you 3 reasons why you should not be hiding your cancellation process, your cancellation button. And this is going to help you really think through how to refine the process for your benefit and for the benefit of your members. So the first reason that you don't want to hide that cancellation button is because information is power. Think about it this way. If somebody's considering leaving your program, wouldn't you want to know that? I mean, sometimes don't you just wish that you knew what your members were thinking? That you could have talked to them before they actually went through the cancellation process? Of course you do, because you can find out if they're feeling overwhelmed or if they're confused or if they're not satisfied with something that's going on inside of the program. We want to know that in advance before they actually get to the process of canceling. I want to know what their struggles are, because that gives me an opportunity to improve my program, to better support them, to make it a better experience for everybody overall. So because information is power, if I can get somebody to that cancellation page sooner rather than later, and there's opportunity on that page for people to provide information to me that is letting me know how I can improve their experience or the experience overall, you better believe I want that sooner rather than later. And what that also does when we get this information is it gives us an opportunity to potentially save somebody. And that's the second reason why I don't want you hiding your cancellation process. Cancellations are resell opportunities. A great cancellation process resells the member on the benefits of the program. It helps rebuild their belief in the program and in themselves and what's possible for them. It showcases for them the progress that they've made. I talk about this a lot, that people making progress will determine whether they stay in your program or not. But sometimes they've made progress and we just need to shine a spotlight on it. A good cancellation process will shine a spotlight on the progress that they have made. So what does that do? Well, it creates opportunities for us to save the right people and re-onboard the right people. Now, I'm saying the right people because sometimes people are truly no longer a fit for your program. Maybe they've achieved the result. Maybe you help people find the one and get married, and they're married and they're off and running. Well, great. It's time for them to go. Maybe you help people build a business Maybe they've taken a full-time job and decided being an entrepreneur isn't for them. That's okay. It's time for them to go. But for the right people, those that are just overwhelmed, maybe they lost their way, maybe they got confused, maybe they are not being served in the way that we would want them to be. Those people, we have an opportunity to save. So when we get them to the cancellation process, I want us to be thinking about if I were reselling them on the value of the membership and on their belief in themselves, what would I do? What would I say to them? What would I want them to know? And also to be thinking about re-onboarding them. Sometimes we just get off track. And when we get off track, we feel like we're not taking advantage of the program. And then in our heads, the thought is, well, I should stop paying for this because I'm not getting any value. So the first step that they take when they're coming back into your program and re-engaging is to cancel. What if we just saw this as an opportunity to begin a re-onboarding process for them? There's so much opportunity in that cancellation process that you're not taking advantage of if you hide the cancellation button. And then finally, and possibly the most important, is that customer experience is your brand. I don't care how fancy your graphics are and how good your messaging is or how beautiful your sales page is. At the end of the day, your brand is determined by your customer experience. And I'll have a whole nother episode on this, but this is important because the cancellation process is an extension of the member experience. And not only that, it's the last thing that they will remember. And studies show time and time again that the last thing that somebody experiences on a trip or in a journey like this, it's the thing that they will remember the most. So think about that. If your cancellation process is the thing that people will remember the most, what are the chances that they're going to be a raving fan after they leave, or that they're going to refer people in or potentially come back? We want to leave people with an elevated view of our brand after the cancellation process. So don't make it frustrating. If I'm already feeling a little overwhelmed and confused and I get on the site to try and learn about cancellation because I'm considering doing that, and I spend 15 minutes trying to find the cancellation button, you better believe by the time I get to it, I am done. I don't want to talk to anybody on your team. I don't want to fill out a survey to give you more information. I am done with your membership. Let's not have that be the process. Let's invite them into the conversation about why they're considering canceling. Let's get information from them that helps us better serve them and serve others. Let's rebuild their belief on the program and in themselves. Re-onboard them. Let's help them find their next step if that's why they're leaving. There are so many opportunities for us in the cancellation process. So I do not want you to be hiding that, because information is power, cancellations are resell opportunities, and ultimately customer experience is your brand. So let me give you this final way of thinking about it before we wrap up. I want you to think about it like a hotel experience, right? Maybe the Four Seasons is like the cream of the crop of that kind of experience, but it's the same is true whether you're staying at a DoubleTree or an Embassy or a Hilton or whatever it might be. When you go to a hotel, the cancellation process is easy and simple. And by cancellation process, of course, I mean checkout process, but they don't make that a frustrating experience for you. In fact, it's so easy that you don't even have to leave the key anymore or talk to anybody. In fact, I think I have a couple of hotel keys in my purse because I always forget to leave the key in the room. But why do they do that? Well, they want it to be a smooth and seamless process for you because they're already thinking about you coming back. They are crafting the entire experience from the time that you register to stay at that hotel to you show up and the valet picks you up, to checking in, the guest experience when you stay, to the checkout process. In their minds, they're thinking, how do we make this such an incredible experience that when they go on vacation again or travel again, they choose our hotel chain to stay at because their experience was so good. That's what they're thinking about. They're thinking about the conversations that you're going to have with people when you get back from that trip. I think about my friends who were just in town for a mastermind event here in Nashville, and we stayed at the Graduate Hotel. The Graduate Hotel is a vibe. It is a culture in and of itself. It is built on the culture and the vibe of Dolly Parton. And from the time that you drop your car off with the valet to you go in and get checked in, the lobby experience, to the room and what you experience in the room, to the handwritten note that I got from somebody at the front desk welcoming me into that hotel, to the rooftop bar experiences, every bit of that is thought out. And do you know what they want you to do? They want you to go back and talk about your Nashville visit and to talk about the hotel more than you talk about your experience in Nashville. Because here's what I know to be true. When you stay at a hotel, one of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to go back and you're going to talk about how the hotel was miserable and it ruined your trip, Or you're going to talk about how the hotel was an amazing experience and you loved staying there and everybody should stay there if they go to Nashville. And you're going to refer everybody to that. So think about your membership experience in the same way. The hotel isn't going, you only stayed for 3 nights? I can't believe you. Our hotel is amazing. Why would you only stay for 3 nights? You should have stayed for a month. You should stay forever. You're terrible. You're dead to us. You're gone. They don't do that. But some of us treat our canceled members that way versus treating them like alumni that have moved on or potential members for other programs or potential people who could be referring others into our program. We treat them like they're dead to us. You're no longer paying me to be in this program. You're silly and stupid. Why would you have done that? So let's flip the script on cancellation. Let's look at how we can make cancellation a part of the member journey that is memorable in a good way. We really want to be thinking about that when we're refining our cancellation process, which we all need to do because of this new law in California. So do me a favor. I want you to stop hiding your cancellation process. And instead, I want you to turn it into an opportunity to re-onboard the right people into your program or send those that are no longer a fit off with a smile. All right. I'm grateful for you, friends. Thank you for joining me. Clearly, I am passionate about this topic. And if you are as well, or if you're refining your process, I want to know, reach out to me on Instagram at Shana Speaks. I'd love to hear from you and how you're improving your cancellation process. But what I want you to do, most importantly, is to make it a joyful week. And I will chat with you in next week's episode.